Hi everyone, thanks for watching. In today's video, I want to look at a verse that's often talked about in Bible prophecy. That verse is Revelation 13:3, as we see on the screen. The first half of the verse mentions the deadly wound that was healed, and as we all know, various interpretations of this deadly wound have been discussed at length on many Bible prophecy videos out there. But in today's video, I thought it would be interesting to consider the second sentence of that verse, which reads, "And all the world marveled and followed the beast." When that prophecy was first written nearly 2,000 years ago, it simply wasn't possible for the entire world to follow one man. Even important news such as war or a political assassination could take many years to reach every corner of the planet, if it ever did. Recent inventions over the last 150 years or so have made it a bit easier for us to understand what's happening elsewhere around the world. We have had inventions such as the telegraph and the telephone, radio and TV, all of which were a major step toward helping people around the world connect with each other. Of course, the advent of the internet, from its infancy in the 1950s to the ubiquitous force it is today, helped accelerate our ability to stay up to date with the latest news and information from all around the world. What's interesting, though, is that none of those things, from the telegraph to the telephone, from radio to TV, even to the internet, could single-handedly allow millions of us to follow what one person said or did in real time. That changed in 2006 with the creation of Twitter. Although it didn't really take off for another year, Twitter would, over the next decade, allow millions and millions of people around the world to all simultaneously follow one specific person and to instantaneously learn what that particular person wanted to say on a given subject. Here's what's really amazing. There are presently about 3.5 billion smartphones around the world. This is nearly one half of the entire population of the world. Some reports have the total number of smartphones as high as 5 billion. According to current estimates, by the year 2025, 3/4 of the world will use only their smartphones to access the internet. We are now at the point where billions of people around the world are able to follow one person via Twitter. Of course, when it comes to the political world scene, it seems as though Twitter is almost synonymous with Donald J. Trump. It is not only his preferred method of communication with his loyal followers, but he uses it to brutally attack those he considers to be his enemies. He often denigrates others via his tweets, but most of all, he uses it to praise himself. Trump has harnessed the power of Twitter far above and beyond what anyone else has done today. Trump has about 80 million Twitter followers right now, which has been increasing substantially and consistently since his 2016 election victory. Of course, many of those followers are news media types, as well as leaders from around the world who need to follow Trump on Twitter because he not only has a habit of saying outrageous things, he often makes up new American policy on the fly. He's even threatened nuclear destruction of other countries on Twitter. As of today, Trump is the 6th most followed person on Twitter, trailing only 3 famous musicians, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, and Rihanna, and 1 famous soccer player, Cristiano Ronaldo, and 1 famous ex-president, Barack Obama. Trump won't be trailing these people for very much longer. I believe that his Twitter following will explode exponentially during his second term. The reason I say this is because Trump's second term will find him at the very center of several earth-shaking events, including confirmation of his Mideast peace plan, a possible war against Iran, and a very public crusade against his domestic political enemies. In the very near future, Donald J. Trump will have the most followers on Twitter by far, something he will, of course, incessantly brag about. With Trump's propensity to use Twitter to say outlandish things, including threats against other people and countries, his Twitter followers will easily number in the hundreds of millions over the next couple of years. I am convinced that the last part of Revelation 13:3 which talks about the whole world following the beast, can only be a reference to Twitter. It alone makes it possible for the Antichrist to instantaneously send a message to hundreds of millions or even billions of people around the world. And these billions of people who follow the Antichrist will want to get that message. That's why they followed him in the first place. We are at the doorstep of the whole world following the beast, and they will do it via Twitter, which alone makes this possible. So that's all for today. If you care to leave a comment, please do. And as always, please be respectful of one another. Thanks again for watching. Take care.